that bounce.
Hey, and welcome to iHeart Intellectual Radio, the Chronicles of Rohn. I am your host, Alan J. Campbell, aka the Batman. Hey, I want to welcome everybody to the show. I want a little bit of a levity type of thing. I ran into it was in my business and in what I do. Sometimes you run across, I should say, odd conversations, and I'm not going to spend too much time on it. But it was an odd conversation. So now, and I say it's a little bit of levity because, in actuality, how many of us act about that? So So the conversation went like this: you don't have any reservations whether you walk, whether you're doing a drive by or you're in bed or whatever the case may be. But I don't, and you say how long do you have to be together when that's actually, fellas, when you're comfortable, because when you're first starting out, you're not doing, you've been with somebody 15, 20 years, then all of a sudden you just feel relatively comfortable. It's like it's like a married couple. You feel comfortable with doing it with no reservations. Okay. But that was a conversation that off topic today as I went throughout my day. But it's something to think about. But moving on, we're going to talk about two things tonight, two very topics. The first one is the impeachment of Donald John Trump, and the second one is the second half of the hour is going to be about the conversation, the interview. Now, the interview and conversation that King had with the WNBA star Lisa Leslie concerning Kobe Bryant. But first, let's get to on this. I took bets. I told people, hey, this dude is going to get acquitted. Make no mistake about it. And a business, that is the nature of two corporations doing business. Keyword corporations, not two countries, two corporations doing business. And that is how it's done. It's called quid pro quo. Business, hey, for you, you don't do it. You don't scratch my back. I don't throw you a bone. That's really what it boiled down to. Okay. He wanted to know what these two guys were into as far as was this illegal? Was there some type of malfeasance? Was there some type of deal cut where it was beneficial to another entity? He's talking about Joe Biden and his son Hunter. Now, as far as the impeachment was concerned, the Senate, make no mistake, people, as I said before, the Senate controls of the United States. You have the president / CEO at the head of the table. The cabinets, his cabinet members, and the Senate are the boardroom members. They are the Senate upstairs to see what's going to happen. Ain't get anything done, not a single thing. But we have to also look at this too, people. They spent 3.5 years, and spent upwards to 120 that they need. Not so much as putting more police on the street, because that's not going to stop, but the technology that they need to start closing cases, not solving crimes, but closing cases. All of that money. And the numbers might be higher, but that's an estimation. Half you is getting things done. Change and diversity into the republic. And the key word, and like I said before, the word republic means for the people. We have to understand that. Do your homework. That the Senate was going to convict. Period. I watched the trial, broke it down, observed it. There was no way they were going to do that. No way the Senate was going to do that. No way. Still winning. When everybody get ready to, think about this too. When you get ready to file your taxes this year, well, in fact, let's think about last year, but more importantly, think about right now, 2020, for those who have actual dependents, or aka Obama's administration, seeing any real money coming back for a Happy Meal without the meal. It's really what it was, and unfortunately, a lot of us accepted that. We did, but now you take this instance where he gets his money back. Why wouldn't you want to be part of that? Why wouldn't you want to use the same template? Why wouldn't you want to do that? So now what happens now, and he instituted this in 2017, that allotted three children and the return, that money that you are getting back. Think about this. Obama did taxes taken out, and you're getting more of that back. If you look at your taxes, if you are self-employed, now certain things that you once couldn't that was not allotted to you. There were certain things that you could not claim or deduct. Now deduct. For example, if you have it's now allowed for deductions such as maintenance, wear and tear, gas expenses, mileage expenses, things of that nature. You're getting that money back. We have to look at the bigger picture, people. We have to look at the bigger picture. These were people, and I'm referencing the Democrats, who wanted to destroy this individual because he was what? Giving back to the people. The republic. What did I say what did I say earlier? What does the word republic mean? For the people. For the whole point of helps fuel the economy. That's what it does. Here's another interesting fact, and this is a sidebar. Now everybody's been talking. Now we have this situation going on with this virus. I call it the coronavirus virus, because make no mistake, people, some things just don't make any sense. And I don't want to get too far off topic, but a virus called corona virus. Corona. Here's the thing. Also, Corona beer has taken a hit has taken a hit as far as their stock is concerned. They have taken a huge hit. Huge. Meaning now tariffs is money, is basically tax money. But what they're saying is that they're going to cut the tax money in half to the United States of goods coming in and out of China. Because this is still a W for him. This is still a win. This is in the United States. This helps the farmers, the same people where you get your agricultural food from. This is a win. Remember now, the Democrats are the same individuals who wanted to keep black than what they have. They don't want to see anything good. Nothing. They don't want to see all of that. Nothing. At the end of this, so what they did is that all of the senators, all 100 senators, because you have 100 senators. If you remember from your days in high school, in the Constitution, they asked you how many senators are that they have. So it's 100. Now, on the charges, he was charged with two offenses. He was charged with 5147. Okay. Then the second charge. Now the whole vote on the second charge. Obstruction, abusive. I'm sorry. The first one was abuse of power. And they voted 5147 for acquittal. And then the second one was obstruction of justice, or obstruction of Congress, which means that he tried to interfere with Congress doing their job. It wind up being another W. It wind up being the egg once again, who are trying to, or decency that we might have. You're to try to do something right, or try to do something to enhance the corporation in a way that everybody can make money, and you got one person always trying to throw money. Now, the night before his acquittal, Trump, they along with all of the members of Congress and there were a lot of things that he said that were true. A lot of things he said that were very, very true. Some people will be, and they will disagree strongly, but you can't change that. Here's who recognized. So we can't sit there and say that this is an individual who is first and foremost racist or hateful or whatever you might decide to say. Because understand something. A racist is not going to invite you to his house for he did this because it's the right thing to do, because he realizes that black people have been disenfranchised for the last 100 and change of years. Million universities. He's earmarked money to go to these colleges and universities. These are black. This is the same individual who put who made it who made it a Martin Luther King and Coretta Scott King talked about that. He did that. He made sure that no one would disturb this pioneer, which is what he is. He made sure of that. The previous administration did not do that. Did not do it. Not one single solitary thing. May not agree are not better. You can't say that they're not. If you say that they're not, or you don't have an answer, or you can't answer the question, then you will come. Then you're like Malcolm X, as Malcolm X said, you have a diseased mind. And when Malcolm X said that there's a diseased mind, he was referencing even when it's right there in front of us. Even when it's right there, get off the boat. That's that in itself is the most disturbing part. We accept the truth who have lied to us since the day we got here. Unfortunate. So at some point or another, works. He's go to these schools. So these children can have the same type of advantage. There are things that have to, there are things, what difference does it make? What difference does it make? Whether he has an agenda or not, it doesn't matter. Making it possible for as white and brown. Hey, welcome to the show. Welcome to iHeart Intellectual Radio, the Chronicles around. Who do I have on the phone and where are you calling from?
It's Dave from Georgia.
Hey, what's happening, Georgia?
Couple of things. So this whole impeachment is a chess game. And for the slow people on the bus, it's always been a chess. If you follow Donald Trump from his beginning, you look it up, follow it, check it out yourself. He switched parties because when Hillary Clinton and he actually did not want to get into politics. What he was even tried for, what he was even, the charges that were trumped up, no pun intended, to try to remove him from office. It shows the destruction of our democracy that's already in place. And I've said this before, we are witness, and I say that because people who fight against him are fighting against an ideology. The people who sought to bring him up on charges of obstruction of Congress, which is a very vague term, almost made up. It has never been used before at all. No one has ever put up a president on obstruction of Congress. And abuse of power was brought up in such a broad and democracy. For Congress to, abuse of power, because Congress has not done one solitary thing in this in his entire term. The man will have finished his fourth year this year, and Congress has brought to him not one bill that they have single-handedly drafted. This has been the longest vacation that Congress has ever seen because they never had to do any work. So the distraction to the simple-minded or the simpletons that are now the majority. Then there was the collusion with Russia. Then there was all of this other stuff, Jared Kushner. Then we have and how we are withholding aid for Ukraine, which is not illegal to do. It's not illegal to do. See, the only reason why this has gotten so much momentum is because we have become conditioned to not ask the right questions. And in the over who got the biggest cookie at recess. I don't care if you get mad, it's the truth. Because realistically, you don't even have an economic standing or political standing on the board. That's it. You have no bearing, you have no power, it's just numbers. Now, that's very true. But if those numbers are just there for the purpose of delegating a bigger number, because here's what happens for the slow people in the room. They tally up the votes, which is still a farce, and based upon the majority of what that vote says, now you have a singular person who is called a superdelegate. This superdelegate, after looking at the proposal that for every, let's say 20,000 votes or 30,000 votes, just keep the numbers. You know what? I'll be generous. Let's say 50,000 votes. For every, because realistically, we never really have the total number the night of. Everything is a prediction. It's a prediction and a political guess to see where the numbers we believe will fall. To that point, you only need, I think it's 270.
Right, you need 270.
On the last election, after every poll told you he was in the double digits of a deficit, and Hillary Clinton was in the double digits of an advantage, he won 303, I believe it is, electoral college votes.
307.
Okay? So which means that if he was supposed to be down 10% and she was supposed to be up 10%, give or take, then how did he get away with being ahead 20%?
That's a 20-point swing.
That's my point. So it tends to tell you that Trump is predicted to already have 212 electoral college votes guaranteed. That's according to certain polls. Now, next week after New Hampshire, that might change. 200, which means he's only 50 some votes away. So my point is what? Where's your Jesse Jackson? Where's your Al Sharptons? Where's your pastors? Everybody that tells you to get ready and you ain't got squat yet. What are you getting ready for? And have assigned to you a period of distraction called recess, and have allotted your day accordingly. See, so until you can be an adult and go in and start scheduling your classes and planning this, I would love a rebuttal, but I can't find one.
Looking for it. As we often say, we spend too much time. We're chasing the wrong dog.
And that's what we do. You know what? Here's my parting ethnicity, because once you have determined an ethnicity, then it also means that you have a true lineage of existence, and you also are entitled, which is the most important part, to some level of reparation.
Mm-hmm.
To be entitled to reparations, you have to be a legitimate ethnicity, part of some level of nationality, with a sovereign flag and or code of cultural heritage.
That is true. That is very, very true.
Are basically illegitimate, stressing the fact that he himself has illegitimized our class of people and has moved them further and further away from any sort of economic and managed by Native American sovereign nations. I'm going to say it one more time. They are owned and operated by Native American sovereign nations. All of the revenue, the economic sustainability, including the workforce, and the distribution of that wealth is controlled and contained within that circle or that nation of people. A distribution of that wealth, of that economy, in the form of ration, allowance, whatever you want to call it, every month, perpetually, without fail. We're not talking about $250 because you get happy over that when somebody gives you some snaps or some stamps and you can go get some shrimp and lobster. That was then sent over to the Senate to be sent to the president to be ratified and made a law or an act. So therefore, the very people that you've been sending back to Congress who keep telling you why you can't get a job, why you can't get ahead, it's very simple why you can't. It's because jackass.
Very much, George. Thank you very much. You know, when he comes on, before I thought I want to give a shout out, here at iHeart Intellectual Radio Chronicles, Rohn, to Captain Hook. They're over there on 85th and Cottage Grove, 103rd and King Drive, and 15922 South Kedzie and Markham. Shout out to my man Alex over there at Captain Hooks. But he had a very good point. The interview that Gayle King gave, or let me rephrase that. The interview that Gayle King had when she interviewed WNBA star Lisa Leslie, who is a very dear friend, people saying a lot of different things, a lot of horrible things. But you know what? As a journalist, I'm not buying into the fact that you didn't know that this was coming or you were blindsided, any of that. Don't try to don't try to blow smoke up our ass and tell us that this is not happening. See, what happened is that you thought you could say certain things and get away with it, and hopefully people wouldn't catch on to that. But the interview that was had a few days ago, it started out where they were discussing, and this is one of the things, people, we have to fully understand and understand that there are a lot of niggas, their legacy through their mouth in the behest of Europeans. And Gayle King is one of those individuals. I come over there and I beat your ass just for saying that. Just for saying that. Um, and going into, hey, welcome to iHeart Intellectual Radio, the Chronicles of Rohn. Who to have on
segment to then submit to the network for approval within the narrative of that show. Okay. Very simply put, she's no innocent party to this.
No.
What was going to be seen and what ended up on the cutting room floor. As you said, she was just trying to see what she could get away with without us sleeping.
They always do. Your thing about this, people, not to and hold your point, George. When white people become, that should wake you up at all. That should wake you up point blank, period. And when Gayle King said what Lisa Leslie responded the most intelligent way, no, her Lisa Leslie's response, no, Gayle, it doesn't. I don't think it will compromise his legacy. That is not who Kobe is. We hung out at the clubs together, and Kobe was not the kind of person to say, hey, go over there and go get that girl, and say, well, maybe you didn't see it. She's saying, wait a minute, hold on. That's not who he is. I've known Kobe since he was 18 years old. If he was going to do that, he would have done it. Kobe Bryant got caught up in a dismissed. This dude went on to be one of the greatest NBA players. His wife stayed with him, and she chalked it up her own people, her black people, and Oprah Winfrey. Now remember, and that's just said, people, you are in control. If you are doing a segment just like what I do on my show, I control the content. I know what I'm going to say. I know what I'm writing. I know the questions. So for Gayle King, if she didn't know, no, that's bullshit. No, absolutely. Another woman.
Let me chime in on this little piece. If you listen to the way the interview even started, parasite in the medium, no one would dare to put any next to Kobe's legacy before Gayle King and CBS puts that inception in your mind. They inserted asterisk in your mind, in your conscious register. Half of y'all pastors that did worse than that, and still are. If they know how they dig in the register, excuse my French, they got it in some little boy's booty hole. But y'all don't want to talk about that.
Well,
in addition to that, Oprah or Harvey Weinstein, but they were adamant to show disdain for Bill Cosby, for R. Kelly, for now a dead man, Kobe Bryant, and let's.
And they villainize and not on. Wait.
This is a consistent pattern of Master got a couple of bed winches.
Wait, now hold your point. Snoop Dogg, Gayle King. Snoop Dogg went in hard. Now I understand some. Snoop Dogg he's about the realest. He didn't to name a few, but not one of them MFers is on trial for sex crimes. But they're not. But Gayle King and Oprah Winfrey are not gonna say anything because they're all buddy. They're not gonna say anything about it.
Not just sex crimes, but sex crimes against dozens of women across over several decades.
This dude has been doing this for 30 years. So he's a predator.
Bill Cosby donated millions of dollars, and to you have hoods, which is a place where you lodge, a place where you eat, and a place where you have recreation. A total responsibility and accountability, which we don't have any of that.
When we have to look at these things, now, don't get it's not realistically, people. We have to. If you look at how Robert Kelly, think about how she villainized these individuals. I didn't see her get Harvey Weinstein's lawyers on her show. I didn't see her interview Kevin Spacey to say, Kevin, is this true? How do you deal with this? I didn't see her get a horror Oprah, but because All got our personal demons. Some have more than others. Let's clear. Let's get that. Let's get that out in the open. There's no difference. None whatsoever. Bill Cosby right now is languishing in a Pennsylvania prison. Why? Because some white woman accused him of drugging her 40 years ago. Get over it. If it was really that serious, you'd have said something like, "Oh, he was just a powerful individual." So now, no. See, all of this came out when we started this R2U2 U2 R2D2 nonsense. That's when all of this started happening. So now I'm gonna start throwing all this out. Now you got Harvey Weinstein out there in New York on trial, but you know, see, the thing about this is that the media is not even telling you about this. Victims have all began to testify, and we're talking about this. But Gayle King, no, I don't see Gayle King down there at the courthouse interviewing anybody. I don't see her doing that. Harvey's victims was so traumatized, she broke down in court till the judge had to call a recess for the day. Kobe even said, "Hey, I didn't see anything wrong with it. Shaq did it. Shaq was doing it." You have this lovely wife. You have to understand. And once he focused on his wife, his children, and the other ventures. Kobe was 41 years old when this unfortunate tragedy happened. As far as concerned, the man's legacy will never be tarnished because there's nothing you can do to take that away from him. But what I tell you, what has happened to Gayle King, her legacy or whatever is left of it, because she didn't know NBC was going to air that part of the show. Like what we said before, you are called the dailies, or you're looking at the footage. You are the one to decide how long this segment is going to run. The segment 5 minutes and 12 seconds, but she spent 2 minutes and 48 seconds crucifying Kobe Bryant, something that happened eons ago. Now, make no mistake, and I guarantee you, people, I guarantee you $10 with a bag of shit that after won't or see, but it was some words that were said. I guarantee, because the whole point, you're going to talk about my friend to my face like this and try to destroy him. Now, Lisa Leslie, that's a tall woman. Lisa Leslie is 6'9", 6'9". She could have sat there on that chair and reached over and grabbed Gayle King by her hair and not even get out the chair. We have to, this is the part too where we have to be mindful of the wolves that are in pull up Snoop Dogg and what he said. And right after that, it's a guy named Bootsy who said the same thing. Then Oprah comes out, and she's just so traumatized, and now she has to with armed guards, and they're now they're plotting out which way that she's supposed to go every day, and she's a wreck. Now she's on TV, but wait a minute, hold on. Gayle, but Gayle King left her husband for you now. Let's get all of that out. Gayle King left her husband for Oprah. Oh, nobody want to talk about that. Oprah brought Gayle King an airplane, a personal plane. Hold on, wait a minute, hold on. What we got going on here? Obviously, they both have a liquor license. And I do mean lick her license. But you sit there and you destroy these people. The same thing with Oprah Winfrey, destroying black men. Women, black women, please stop. Because white America, brown America are looking at you. Do this to your own. That is why treat women the way that they treat them, because they have lost respect for black women because of how they act and conduct. I know I'm going past my time, but I'm very adamant about this. And I know my man pretty soon he's going to give me me a few more minutes. He's popping up 5 fingers right now, so I'm gonna give him 2.5 so we can go ahead and keep it going. But we have to stop doing this. And if we don't stop destroying one another, if black women, listen, if you don't stop destroying your black men and your black boys, you're going to be by yourselves. You're going to be bitter individuals. Black women, if you don't know how to conduct yourself, watch your mouth. Watch what comes out your mouth, because you cannot say everything to a black man. You cannot. There are some of us that will snap out and knock your teeth to the back of your head, or some of us will walk away, let you have what you say. And when I say walk away, that don't mean walk away from the conversation. That means walk away from your black ass and keep going. These are two individuals. Watch these two women and teach. And black women, this is where you teach your girls how to conduct themselves with black men. Black men, teach your boys how to operate and function, and stop being the ratchet bastards that you are. We are going to eventually wind up becoming an extinct species if we don't get a grip on what we are doing to one another. We are. And I don't mean by the simple means of killing or dying, but by economics, by prisons, by homosexuality. We are going to become extinct. We need to understand this. We need to wake up. We really, really do. But hey, I see the headlight. I see the lights flashing in the distance, and the helicopter has just landed on the helipad, which means that is all the time that we have here on iHeart Intellectual Radio, the Chronicles of Rohn. You know, I thank you all for listening to the show. To my man Alex over there, listen, bro, get my chicken ready, because the Batman is on his way. To Captain Hook, 85th and Cottage Grove, 103rd and King Drive, and 159th and Kedzie and Markham. And in closing, to the Batmobile. Not my monkey, not my circus. To the Batmobile. Batteries to power. Turbines to speed. Roger.